Tomorrow's the first day of school. The last first day of school. Senior year. It's got to be a good one. It needs to be. Happy first day of school, Finn.
We shift to a classroom. Vivi is already sitting in her desk. Soon Gwen, Lance, and Finn enter, but not all at the same time. As everyone takes their seats, the bell rings. The room is quiet. Mr. McCormick walks into the classroom.
Hello, everyone. It'll be a few moments before we get started. Did we all have a nice summer?
Kay then walks into the classroom. He isn't particularly quiet about it.
Hello. I thought we had one more. You didn't miss much. I was just asking how everyone's summer was. Would you like to start us off?
Kay takes a seat at the last empty desk.
Not really.
Well, that's okay, I guess. Guess I can go first. I suppose my summer was not really all that interesting. At least, not to all of you, maybe. I mostly just read books, as any English teacher does. I went back and read some of the old books I used to read when I was your age. If you ever want some suggestions on what to read, I would be thrilled to share. Now then, what about all of you? Nobody? Thank you. What's your name?
Finn.
And how was your summer, Finn?
It was kind of just relaxing. Nice to have some time off, I guess.
I bet it was. Senior year, correct?
Yes.
Same for everyone here, right? Good, good. I thought so. This is a senior class. Anyway, I remember my junior year of high school being the most difficult year. I take it that was the same for you? Well, a relaxing summer after junior year is definitely well-deserved. Thank you, Finn. Now then, welcome everyone. If you're here, then you are enrolled in Advanced Creative Writing, which is being offered for the second year in a row as a substitute class for English 4. Sound correct to anyone? All right, good. So for today, we're going to go over some simple stuff. Not too hard of a day. First one usually isn't. Finally some emotion other than boredom. Come on, guys, you're almost there. Come on. It's the last year. How about we start off going around the room and introducing ourselves? Let's do your name and perhaps why you are taking this class as opposed to the traditional English 4. Let's start with Vivian. Why don't we stand as well?
Hello, my name is Vivian.
I apologize, but I will need you to speak up just a little louder. I'm a little hard of hearing.
My name is Vivian. I go by Vivi. I'm taking this class to learn more about writing.
Oh, any particular genre of writing?
Fantasy?
Fantasy? Favorite of mine as well. Nice to meet you, Vivi. Next up is Lance.
Hey everyone, I'm Lance. I'm taking this class because I honestly don't get all that punctuation and grammar stuff. I was bored out of my mind for English 1 through 3, and I figured this class would be way more fun.
Well, Lance, good to hear you plan on having some fun in this class. What, may I ask, is your preferred genre of writing?
I don't really know. I guess kind of like superhero stuff.
So perhaps some science fiction, but more so focused on superheroes. Very interesting. All right, Guinevere.
I go by Gwen. Like most of us in this class, I'm sure, I didn't feel English 4 is going to give me what I wanted for my senior year of high school, so I decided to go with something that might be a little easier.
I see. Something that won't burn you out right before you start college, I assume.
Right.
Well, glad to have you here. And what is your preferred genre?
I mean, I read pretty much anything: science fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, historical fiction, all of it. I guess I just really like reading.
Well, that really is quite a gift to enjoy many different genres of reading, but when it comes specifically to writing, what is it you prefer?
Oh, sorry. Well, I haven't written that much.
Oh, that's all right. But from what you have written, though, what genre would you say is the most commonly seen?
Love stories.
Ah, love stories?
Yeah, sure, but not so much focused on the romance. I just kind of like to write short stories sometimes when I'm bored, and I guess they all have some sort of love interest in them, but like just two characters who, you know, like each other.
Hey, quite common for people your age to write, but not share.
Mr. McCormick gives a reassuring smile. She quickly sits down.
All right, next up is Kay.
Kay doesn't stand, but simply sits up in his chair and raises his hand.
I'm Kay. Taking this class because it sounds easy.
He gives a slight nod to Mr. McCormick and then slumps back down in his chair.
Straight to the point and not afraid to say what's on your mind. That'll be a good tool in this class. What about your favorite genre of writing?
I don't know. I don't really write.
Well, that's all right. That's what this class is for. So you can branch out to new types of writing. And finally, Finn.
Finn stands, holding his journal in his hand.
I'm Finn, but I guess you already knew that. I'm taking this class because I guess I don't really know why I'm taking this class.
Very interesting. And your favorite genre?
Fantasy and some sci-fi sometimes.
Ah, another fantasy lover. You and Vivi will get along well, I assume.
Finn and Vivi look at each other awkwardly.
Maybe.
All right. Oh, by the way, Finn, I have to ask, do you ever go by your middle name?
I don't know. Not really.
Oh, that's okay.
Mr. McCormick looks around the classroom.
Wow. What an interesting set of students. Well, this will definitely be a great year. Well, as I said before, my name is Mr. McCormick, and I teach this class, Advanced Creative Writing, to you now. I know what you're thinking. There are very many of you. Well, that's because only 5 students are permitted to be in this substitute class. You see, the school is still trying to figure out if this class is considered a good substitution for English 4. I, for one, believe it has the potential to be, but only if its participants are willing to grasp the sword in front of them, that is their pencils, and slay their dragon.
What's the dragon?
Well, I'm glad you asked, dear Gwen. Many of you said you took this class believing it'll be fun and or easy. I can only promise one of these two.
Wait, what?
The dragon, my students, is the one and only homework assignment you will have in this class.
One assignment?
On assignment?
That's right, only one. But I would be lying if I said it wouldn't be the most difficult assignment you've ever had. This class will extend over the 2 semesters. By the end of this semester, we will have a small test and a check-in on your assignments. We will sharpen your skills to see how you are faring against your dragons. In the second semester, we will continue to sharpen those skills until each and every one of you slays your dragon by the end of the year.
What's this assignment that you're talking about?
Your one and only assignment, my dear students, is to write a novel by the end of the school year.
Novel? Like a whole book? I've never. There's nothing in my.
He takes a couple deep breaths and goes to open a drawer to grab something, but then he stops. He shakes his head and slams the drawer closed. He smashes his elbows onto the desk and clenches his fists as he brings his head down onto the journal. He lays his arms down in front of him so that his head is buried in them. After a while, he brings his head up and places his arms back on his lap. He stares at his journal.
I'm not ready yet. Kind of crazy how he just dropped that huge assignment, right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all.
Do you think he's for real?
What do you mean?
Like, do we have to write like a whole book by the end of the year?
I think so.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
I thought so too, but then I started to realize, we have the whole rest of the school year to finish it.
I guess when you put it like that, it sounds a little better. What do you think, Vivi, right?
What?
I was wondering what you thought about the dragon for this class.
Dragon?
You know, the one assignment we have for this class, the novel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm a little worried, I guess.
Why is that?
I just have a lot of hard classes I'm taking this semester.
Oh, shoot! I completely forgot about my homework for biology. Oh, man, second day and I'm already behind.
Do you mind shutting your mouth?
What?
I bet the class across the hall can hear you.
Jeez, get a load of this guy. Hey, I think you've seen you around before, but we never really talked. It's Finn, right?
Yeah.
I'm Lance. Well, guess you already knew that from yesterday.
You used to play football, right?
Yeah, then my grades started to drop in school last year, and I got kicked off the team, but I'm going to try it again this year. After all, I've got a clean slate now.
Gonna have enough time? You said so yourself, you're already behind.
Okay, so after sixth period, I'll be behind by one assignment. Yeah, big deal. It's senior year. This is supposed to be the best year of our high school lives.
A clean slate, huh?
Mr. McCormick enters running into the room carrying a foam sword. He slashes at the desk in front of him.
Get back! Back, you foul beast! You shall not harm my students!
The students watch him, unsure of how to react. He continues to slash at the desk until he lands the final blow on it. He then places one foot on top of the desk.
Whew. I, Sir McCormick, have slain the beast.
He takes a small bow. There is silence. He then looks up and gestures for them to clap. Everyone but Kay gives a slow and awkward clap.
Yes. Thank you, you're too kind.
Are you okay?
Oh, never been better. Can anyone tell me what it is that I just slayed? Oh, come on. Let's hear what you all think. Lance?
A desk.
No. Come on. Take a deeper look. Look with more than just your eyes.
Lance stares intently at the desk.
I don't know. It's a desk.
I see that look in your eyes. Listen to your imagination.
Dragon.
Why do you believe that, Finn?
I don't know. It's just what I saw. Or I mean, thought.
No. It's what you saw, Finn. Don't let that feeling go. Let your imagination take over. What color was the dragon?
Red.
Good. Did anyone else see something?
I also saw a dragon.
What color was your dragon, Gwen?
I thought it was gold.
Yes. Anyone else?
I saw a giant lobster.
Yes, very good, Vivi. Kay, how about you?
I didn't see anything.
Hey, that's okay. But tell me, Kay, what do you think I was fighting?
So stupid. The spider.
Yes, good. Okay, Lance, how about you?
I guess a lion.
Do you know, or are you asking me?
I mean, a lion. A cyborg lion.
Yes, exactly.
He begins writing the word imagination on the board.
Your imagination is your greatest tool in this class. Without it, you will have nothing to fight your dragons with. Notice how each of you had a different idea as to what I was fighting. Some were similar, but none were exactly the same. Your imagination can take you to some crazy and amazing places, if you allow it.
He writes the word perspective on the board.
Another important tool for this class would be perspective. Like I said before, all of you had very different ideas as to what I was fighting when I stormed into this room like a crazy person. Each of you has your own unique perspectives. Don't let that fade away. Your perspective, your point of view is important. Now, does anyone know what your most important tool in this class will be?
There is silence amongst the classroom. Everyone waits for Mr. McCormick to give in and tell them. He doesn't. He is different now, as if the fun in him has taken a break. This is serious.
Yes, Gwen.
Is it us?
As in yourself.
She nods, but it is clear she's unsure. Mr. McCormick turns to face the board and writes, "You" on the board.
All right, anyone else want to guess?
There is silence once again as seriousness takes hold. Then Finn raises his hand. Mr. McCormick points at him.
Is it us as in each other?
Mr. McCormick turns once again and writes each other on the board.
Anyone else?
There's long silence. Nobody else has an answer. Mr. McCormick caps his marker and goes to sit on his desk.
Those are very good guesses. But the answer is, I don't know. In order for you to slay your dragons by the end of the year, you will need more than just your sword. Anyone can pick up a pencil and write. For this beast, you will need something more. That something more can only be found through a quest. For some, this quest will have them seeking a power they feel they must have in order to succeed. For others, it will be seeking a friend. For some, it is a journey into one's own self. No matter what quest you take, it must be towards something you believe will be your most important tool.
Silence overtakes the room once again. Though his words might seem strange, the students are captured by his daunting request. All except for Kay. The lights dim to focus on Kay. This is our first time in the mind of a student where their truth speaks freely.
Fantasy crap is ridiculous. The way he speaks makes it sound like this is some therapy session. I can't wait to get out of here.
Another light comes up on Vivi as her mind begins to speak.
What's going on? Why is he so serious all of a sudden? Did I answer correctly before? Class is almost done. I wish it wasn't.
What's wrong with that girl? Totally messed up. I don't get what he's trying to tell me. That guy Kay is a jerk. What's wrong with that girl? Do people like me? I can do better. The football tryouts are coming up. I hope I'm ready.
I need to do well in this class. I need to do well in this class. I need to do well in this class. I wish everything would stop. I need to do well this year. I can make it. Just power through. I don't have time for that.
What a waste of time. I can't wait to be done. I can't wait to be done. I just gotta pass this stupid class. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. None of this will matter. It will not happen again. I don't care. This old man is not going to change anything. I don't care.
What's going on? I don't understand. I'm so stupid for saying that. He laughed at me. I don't know what he's trying to tell me. I just want to sleep. I'm so confused. Am I doing this right? Doesn't matter. I wish this class was longer. He looked at me. I wish this class was longer.
I'm not ready. I need more time. What does he mean, Quest? What is this class? I can't do this. I need more time. Everyone expects me to do well. I'm not prepared. I just want to sleep. I need more time. I'm not the same as before. There's just not enough time. I left them at home. I don't need them. I need more time.
They are scared. They are afraid. They are smart. They are not ready for this world ahead of them. They need guidance. They need clarity. They need confidence. They need motivation. No, inspiration. They can do it. I believe in them. I can help them. I believe in them.
We are in Mr. McCormick's office. He's looking down at his computer, reading something. There's a knock on the door.
Come in. Welcome. I have a seat ready right there for you. I'm just finishing up reading your story so far.
Gwen takes a seat on the chair in front of Mr. McCormick's desk. There's silence, a long silence, as Mr. McCormick continues to read from his computer screen.
Is there something I should be doing?
Gwen looks at Mr. McCormick. She studies his face for any hint of what he's thinking as he reads her story. Eventually, he takes a deep breath, still showing no emotion as to what he thinks, and leans back in his chair.
So what do you...
He begins to smile, and he opens his eyes to look at Gwen.
What do I think? I think this is a very good first half to a story. I think it is a very interesting story. I also think it asks a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's the one I've always wanted to write.
I can tell. You can feel that there's a lot of heart put into this.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much time it took me to write that.
I can only imagine. So, like I said, you did have a great start. Do you know what is going to happen in the second half?
Oh, yes, definitely. I've had this all planned out since you gave us the assignment. I've got an outline, sticky notes, note cards, all kinds of things to help me make sure I stay on track.
On track?
With the story, I'm pretty much just expanding upon the outline so that way I don't trail off into something crazy or weird. I had this all planned out.
Well, that's very good. It obviously has helped keep you motivated. I will say you have the most done in your story than any other student.
Really?
Well, yeah, I can tell you're a hard worker. But you are missing something very important with your story.
Gwen's expression changes from proud to surprised.
You have a lot here that is good. The characters are interesting, the plot is engaging, but your story seems to be silent.
Silent?
Yes, silent.
I don't understand.
Good. It's okay to not understand. It's all right to not have an answer. But don't be afraid of the unknown.
But what do you mean by my story is silent?
I want you to think back on the semester. Do you remember our first exercise?
I think so.
Well, tell me what you remember from that day.
We were all listening to you as you talked about... sorry, I don't remember.
Stories. We often read them, but we never truly look into what that means. Are stories simply for us to read, or is there more to it than that? What if a story is actually something we can listen to? Reading is no different than listening to a song or talking with somebody.
The class is all half asleep, except for Kay, who is actually asleep. As Mr. McCormick continues to speak, Lance slowly begins to drift off to sleep, but catches himself several times before finally beginning to snore. Gwen, who has been furiously taking notes of everything Mr. McCormick has been saying, notices his snore and hits Lance on the arm. Lance bursts awake.
I could have taken a couple of you and ran with me.
The entire class is jolted awake by his strange sounds. Mr. McCormick turns to face the class.
Lance, is there something you would like to share with the class?
No, sir.
Mr. McCormick looks around at the other students. He doesn't look upset, just curious. He smiles as he thinks of a new approach for his lesson.
Let's try something different. You're gonna tell me a story.
Me?
No, not just you. You'll begin the story and your classmates will finish it for you. So, just from the top of your head, begin telling a story. Anything at all, Lance. Let your imagination speak.
There once was a duck. The duck's name was Mallard. One day, Mallard...
Thank you, Lance. Vivi, if you could continue the story, please, from where Lance left off.
Vivi, you need to unmute for Mr. McCormick.
So one day, Mallard decided he wanted to eat some bread. So Mallard went to the grocery store to buy some. When he was at the grocery store, they were all out, so...
Thank you, Vivi. Okay, Gwen, you're next.
So he decided he wanted to... I'm sorry, I need more information.
Why is that?
Because obviously Vivi had a plan for where the story was going, so...
But where do you think the story should go? And don't worry about what others had planned. Think about where you are and where you want to go. Where the story wants to go.
So Mallard, the duck, is at the grocery store. When he finds out the bread is all gone, he decides to leave and search for bread somewhere else. He flies all over town until he smells something delicious. Bread. He searches for the smell until he finally sees the source. It's a...
All right, thank you, Gwen. Kay, you're up next.
Gwen's excitement begins to fade as the story passes on from her to Kay. Kay is less than enthusiastic to continue this story. Finn notices the sudden exchange of the story and watches for Gwen's reaction.
This is so stupid. The smell was coming from a swamp where a witch was using her magic to lure in animals with delicious smelling bread. Mallard, lost in the smell of the bread, dives down into the swamp where the witch captures him by putting him in a cage. She then tells him she plans to cook him and eat him.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. Finn, can you finish the story for us, please?
Mallard, stuck in his cage, thinks that all hope is lost. But then the sound of horns begin to play, and the witch collapses to reveal that it was Mallard's friends the whole time. Mallard is confused. Then his friends explain that they bought him all the bread in town for his birthday. Then Mallard and his friends eat the bread and live happily ever after. The end.
Thank you, Finn. Now, Lance, was that the ending you envisioned?
That is not at all what I was planning. But it was still good. It was funny and weird, but good.
As each of you passed on the story, it changed and became what it is now. A story about a duck searching for bread, only to find that his friends bought it all for him for his birthday. There's no other story like it.
But what does this have to do with listening to a story?
We listen to music. We listen to movies. We listen to other people talk. Reading is no different. A story is speaking to you, and you are listening. Therefore, writing a story is recording it for others to listen to. You can have a plan for your story, and it may be a good one. But if you aren't listening to your story, you might miss out on something amazing that it has to say. Never forget, writing is a conversation between your imagination and a story, but only if you are listening.
A conversation with my story.
Yes, Like I said before, right now your story is silent.
How do I start listening?
Well, the story you have right now asks a lot of questions. What is life? What is love? How are things supposed to be? But those are your questions, and for a first half of your story, that's okay. But eventually those questions will need to be answered.
But what if I don't know the answers?
Then let your story answer them for you. I would read what you already have, and you might find that it's trying to speak. Don't necessarily always continue with what should happen. Always keep in the back of your mind what could happen.
Thank you. That's very helpful. I'll try to listen to my story more.
Well, basically, keep an open mind. Plans change. It's life.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick.
And remember, I'm not grading this on how perfect of a story it is. I just want it to be your story.
She gives one last smile and then leaves. Mr. McCormick looks back at his computer.
One down, 4 to go.
Mr. McCormick looks at his computer again. There's a knock at the door.
Come in.
Lance opens the door and walks in. Mr. McCormick gestures to the seat in front of him. Lance takes a seat. His mind is elsewhere.
How are you today, Lance?
All right.
All your other classes going all right?
Yeah, I got a lot more time to focus on them now.
Oh, no football this year?
Lance wants to speak, but instead just shakes his head.
Really? I thought you were going to try out.
I did.
Oh?
Made it in, too.
Then why aren't you playing?
It's a long story.
Well, you know me. I like long stories.
There's a moment in which Lance looks into Mr. McCormick's eyes.
I made it on the team. I was right where I wanted to be. Then, just like last year, I started failing in my classes one by one. I just kept thinking, I don't need that stuff. I just need football. Football's going to take me everywhere I want to go. But I knew they weren't going to let me play unless I started doing well in school. So I started working hard. Stay up late finishing homework. I became tired.
I noticed.
But I think, honestly, that's what I needed. Really put things into perspective for me. I don't have an infinite amount of time. I only have what I have now. I asked Coach for some practice days off so I could work on schoolwork. My grades went up, but my skills were falling behind. So I started going to more practices, and my grades started falling again, and I just became so tired. The other guys, you know, they noticed I was struggling, but they didn't care. Yeah. They figured I was going to get kicked off the team anyway, so I quit. I quit the team.
How are things now?
I don't know. Maybe worse. Ever since I quit, things have just been falling down, it seems. Guys from the team don't talk to me anymore. It's like I don't exist. School's still a struggle. I have more free time, I guess, but I miss playing football.
It sounds to me like you are starting to look at life like building blocks.
Building blocks?
Small things that help you get to your overall goal of having the best life you can.
I'm sorry, Mr. M. I still don't really get what you're trying to say.
Building blocks are the things in our life, like people, activities, interests, etc. Life is a combination of those blocks. A tower that we can build to reach our goal of a perfect life.
So, like, football would be a block?
Yes.
And school?
Exactly.
And my friends? I'm the guys from the football team? What happens when those blocks leave the tower?
Well, if they are somewhere near the base, meaning something that has been a part of you forever, it can start to feel just like you said, like everything is falling.
So what do I do now?
Continue to build. Find what makes you happy.
Everyone used to know who I was, and now, without football, I'm nobody. I'm just another student. The guys from the team don't talk to me anymore. It's my senior year. I'm supposed to be making memories with my friends. I'm supposed to be making the final touchdown in the last game of the year. Everyone's supposed to know who I am. I'm supposed to go down in this school's history. I'm not good at school. Football is the only thing I had, and now it's gone. Everyone's just going to forget about me.
Mr. McCormick pulls out a notebook from his desk, opens up to a page, and slides it in front of Lance.
What's that?
After every class, I write what happened that day. What we did, who was there, everything. I think remembering that day can help you find some of the answers.
Lance is hesitant, but eventually picks up the book and starts to read.
You know what? Forget the lesson for today. Let's have some fun. Who's with me? Good. All right, I'll start, and you join in. Remember, there is no limit to what can happen here. Your imagination is your key. I am a mighty dragon.
He begins running around the students and making dragon sounds. The class stares at him. Mr. McCormick eventually makes it to the front of the class again. Lance turns to the others and mouths, "What the hell?" to them. Eventually, Finn stands up from his desk. Mr. McCormick looks at him with anticipation.
I am a knight, sent here to slay the dragon.
He stands, pretending a sword is in his hand. Mr. McCormick smiles and pretends to fly around Finn. As Finn and Mr. McCormick pretend, it might seem as though Finn is starting to regret his decision to join in and tell.
I'm a knight as well.
Vivi joins in.
Then I'm the most powerful wizard in the world. I shoot lightning at the dragon. Pew, 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 pew.
Lance thrusts his arms out. Mr. McCormick dodges around the room.
I'm not as powerful as you seem, tiny wizard.
Especially when another dragon shows up.
Ah,
Gwen begins to flap her wings and flies around the room. The students play. Eventually, even Kay enters the world as an archer, though he doesn't make it vocal. Together they play in the world they have created, adding new things as they please, changing characters, listening to the story, and building upon each other's ideas. This is their story.
What is going on here?
oh, Miss Fernsby, we were just, having a lesson.
A lesson?
Yes, just having a little bit too much fun with it, I suppose.
And what exactly are you teaching these children?
Well, it's a rather complicated lesson. Everyone learns something a little bit different.
Everyone, back to your seat. Mr. McCormick, if I could speak with you outside, please.
I remember that day. We probably looked so stupid.
But we were having fun, and you learned a lot too, I bet.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let your imagination run wild. I had a lot of fun with everyone. It felt like we were all friends.
Do you know what that game we played is called? Building blocks.
There's a long silence as Lance takes the name in.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. I think I know where to start looking for some new building blocks.
You're welcome, Lance. Now then, back to the reason you are here. Your story is looking really good so far, Lance. I'm impressed with what you have based on all that you have shared with me today.
I had a really good teacher.
Well, if you have any questions, my door is always open.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mr. M.
Lance gets up and just before leaving looks back at his teacher.
That whole part with Miss Fernsby at the end, don't worry about it. I think you're a great teacher.
He leaves. Mr. McCormick smiles. Mr. McCormick begins flipping through his journal. He smiles as he reflects on the semester. Kay enters the office.
Oh, Kay, welcome. Take a seat and we can get started.
Kay takes a seat.
First off, I wanted to say I am really impressed with your story.
What do you mean?
Well, earlier this semester you had said you don't really write all that much.
I don't.
Well, for not writing all that much, your story is quite impressive.
What, you think I had someone else write it?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm serious. This is really impressive work.
Kay looks conflicted with himself.
So what's the catch?
The catch?
There's always a catch. There's always something.
Well, I mean, I can give you some feedback if you would like, but what you have so far is on its way to a really well-made...
Don't play dumb with me.
Kay stands, and Mr. McCormick looks up at him confused.
Kay, what's wrong?
What's wrong? You're asking me what's wrong. This is what's wrong.
Kay.
You sit there and tell me there's nothing wrong with my story, that it's perfect, the way it is, but at the end of the year, I'm sure you'll find something, anything.
Kay, please, calm down.
I know you. All of you. You're all the same. You tell us that you want to help us, but when we ask for it, you aren't there to help. You put up your barriers to protect yourself and shut us out.
What is this about, Kay? Please, I'm listening.
You already know. Don't pretend that you don't know.
Is it because of your transfer?
It has everything to do with my transfer. They held me back from graduating because I didn't fit their perfect mold of what they wanted me to fit.
Your old school?
Old school? Every school. It's just a prison disguised as an education to make us into how they think we should be. I lost everything. My friends, my future plans, the respect of my family, my writing.
So you did used to write?
Every day. It's what I always wanted to be, a writer. I wasn't good at anything else. Science, math, history, none of it. I've never connected with this world. My head was always up in the clouds. English is where I excelled. At least that's what I thought.
Go on, Kay. I'm listening.
Up until senior year, I had managed to get by. I did what I was supposed to and followed the system. Writing was secondary, but I kept it close to the top of my priority list. But the teacher I had for English changed everything. Suddenly, English was where I was failing the most. Punctuation errors, missing commas, run-on sentences, all of it brought me down. That's all they cared about. They didn't actually read any of my writing. They'd just slap a good job on the front, and I was stupid enough to actually believe that they cared.
Kay, what happened before is in the past. I'm here now to tell you that you are an excellent writer. I'm here to help you.
Then why didn't I pass? Why couldn't I graduate with my friends? Why was I told that I wasn't good enough if I am?
I don't know why your other high school didn't allow you to graduate, Kay, but I'm telling you that you are on your way to this year.
I loved writing. I was happy.
Okay, please.
I'm done being trapped in this cage.
There is silence. Kay stares at Mr. McCormick. The scene shifts to a memory.
I don't know about this.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
Why do you think this is necessary, Kay? Mr. McCormick would never.
Then why did you come if you didn't think that he would? Think about it. Why the 5 of us? Why were we given the opportunity to take this class? Why not anyone else?
Because we all did well in English, and we were the first to accept the offer.
Wrong. That's what they want you to think. And they want you to think that you're special, that you can do something that others can. But tell me, Finn, how much have you actually learned this semester?
I don't know. I guess that's what the test is for.
The test? You mean the test that is supposed to gauge whether or not this class is a fit substitute for English 4? Well, what if it's not? What if we fail? You think they'll just let us go and accept that we couldn't do it?
You're being too loud. Someone's gonna hear us.
I've never been loud enough. Open your eyes. They chose us as their guinea pigs. They don't care if we pass or fail this class. You really think playing Mr. McCormick's storytelling games is enough?
They are silent.
I know what they're like. I've already been through this. I was held back because I didn't do exactly as they told me to. I'm trying to help you.
And what if you're wrong?
Do you really want to take the chance? Do you really want to lose everything? Your friends? Respect? Your motivation? Everyone will know that you couldn't do it. That you weren't as good as everyone else. You'll never fit in here again. Everything will change. Once you know the truth is, it's already too late.
Everyone ponders Kay's words.
I'm in. Let's do this.
Me too.
Kay looks at the others with a triumphant smile. He hands out papers to everyone with the answers. Then he sees Finn. Finn looks at the paper, then up at Kay.
No.
Seriously. After all I've said, you still don't believe me.
I don't know what to believe. I don't know what the truth is, but I do know that cheating on this test isn't right. I trust Mr. McCormick.
Finn turns to leave.
You know he's so hard on you.
What?
He critiques every little thing that you do. I've seen it. He's just like every other teacher. He'll do whatever he can to make sure you look like you aren't good enough. And the thing is, you believe him. You're just like me.
I'm nothing like you.
Finn leaves. Kay is still staring at Mr. McCormick.
I'm good at writing. I don't need you to tell me that anymore.
Mr. McCormick sits back in his chair, unsure how to process what just happened or what he should do next. As Kay is leaving, he runs into Vivi at the door. He wipes away tears.
Sorry.
Kay exits. Vivi peeks into the classroom. Mr. McCormick brings a hand to his head. He isn't ready for a meeting yet.
Oh, sorry, Vivian. I mean, Vivi.
Is everything all right, Mr. McCormick?
Yes. Don't worry. Kay and I were just having a misunderstanding. Nothing you need to worry about.
There is silence as Mr. McCormick tries to collect himself.
Okay, now then, your story so far, Vivi, like I've told many others today, is really good. You have a way of using words to tell a story, but this is turning out to be a very painful story. All your characters seem to be going through some very real...
Vivi seems to be holding back some feelings. She swallows and takes deep breaths often. Mr. McCormick becomes aware that his student maybe wasn't prepared for this meeting either.
especially your main character. And there's nothing wrong with that. From what I've read, your character has a lot of expectations, as do those around her. She feels that as though everything she does isn't good enough, that the world is just too big and confusing. She's scared that she'll never understand it, and she doesn't understand how everyone else is able to do it. She's an outcast in her own mind.
Yeah.
What makes the character interesting, though, is that she knows most of that stuff isn't true, yet she still believes it is. And I wonder why.
I don't know.
I've also noticed something else about your main character. Although she struggles with these real problems, she still has hope.
She does?
Yes. In your story, this character, the main character, visits this bridge a lot. For her, it's the connection between the two worlds she lives in. Every time she crosses it, she stops, and she looks down at the water under the bridge. Water is fast, scary, but she always makes a comment about how peaceful it must be underneath the surface of the rushing water. She says that it must be peaceful if the fish can swim. It must be better than up here. She seems to have a desire to jump in sometimes, but so far she has always completed her journey across that bridge. And that's why I believe she has hope. Perhaps under all this pain your characters are going through, there's something else.
Something else?
Yes. Something maybe a little bit more happy.
I don't know. If
Perhaps your main character is afraid to jump. Not because she might get hurt, but because of who would be hurt if she did.
Vivi takes a sharp breath.
Today we are going to try partner stories. I'm going to be breaking you up in pairs of two.
But there's 5 of us.
Good observation, Lance. Although you will notice that Gwen isn't here today, so we will all work out just fine for today's activity.
Is she okay?
Yes, she's just fine. Anyway, group 1 will be Lance and Kay.
Are you
Oh,
kidding me?
Group 2 will be Vivi and Finn. Your task is to create a short story together by the end of this period. Then, tomorrow, we will read them in class. You may leave the classroom if you wish, but please return to the classroom before the bell rings.
The students all leave. Finn and Vivi are sitting next to each other in the hallway.
So, where do you want to start?
I'm not sure. I've never worked with someone else on a story before.
Me neither. I'm sure that's why he's having us do this activity.
Really?
Yeah. Tomorrow he'll probably say something like, a story isn't a journey for just one person. Sometimes you'll find you need help.
That's a pretty good impression, but I'm not sure that's why he's doing this.
Really? What do you think?
I think he just wants us all to become better friends. Although, I mean, you could be right too. He could just be looking for something he read off of a fortune cookie and turning it into a lesson.
A fortune cookie? So, do you have any ideas?
Maybe we could do something in a fantasy/science fiction world. I know you like to write fantasy.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So, what do you think about this? It's present day, and then one day these monsters attack and just absolutely destroy this city.
Yeah, and everyone is freaking out. Like, we can have the main character be there, like, to witness it too.
Yeah, so what if our story actually takes place like 4 years after this attack, and the people have discovered a way to fight against these monsters?
Yeah, but the main character has this
A special power. Yeah.
and she doesn't fully understand it herself, so it drives the story forward.
So what if the city has implemented an army dedicated to killing these monsters?
Yeah, definitely. And she's made a name for herself by doing it even when the army can't.
But then one day she can't beat one of the monsters and fails to save everyone.
That way she has a reason to get stronger.
Yeah. I suppose we need to figure out why the monsters are there in the first place.
What if nobody knows?
What?
What if nobody knows why the monsters are there?
Yeah, but like, why are they there though?
What I mean is, I think that should be a part of the mystery.
Yeah, you're right. This sounds pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a moment of silence between the two. This is the first time somebody has ever understood them. Gwen enters.
Sorry, I was feeling better, so I decided to come to class. Mr. McCormick said I should just join the two of you.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Vivi is still clinging onto that happiness in a daze, but it soon begins to fade.
So far we have this city is under attack by these monsters, and this girl with special powers is able to kill them, but she fails at some point and struggles to deal with that.
Why are the monsters there in the first place?
We don't really know.
We need to figure that out then first.
Yeah, sure.
So what if a meteor crashed into a jungle of a rare type of plant, causing them to mutate to become plant monsters?
Vivi notices Finn is acting different around Gwen. The light of happiness fades quicker than ever.
Maybe some guy found the plants and was selling them in the city.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Let's add that in there.
Thank you for the feedback, Mr. McCormick. I appreciate it.
The light seems to have faded completely from Vivi. Mr. McCormick notices.
Vivi, I look forward to seeing the conclusion of your story at the end of the year. I hope it is a happy one.
Vivi looks directly at Mr. McCormick.
Me too.
She leaves slowly. Mr. McCormick, for once, is at a loss for words.
Vivi,
Yes?
I'll see you tomorrow.
There's a pause as she takes those words in. In a shaky voice, she responds.
See you tomorrow.
She leaves. He is alone.
Hi, Mr. McCormick.
Hello, Finn.
How are you today?
Just all right for today. Why don't we get started?
Sounds good.
Finn takes his seat. He sets down his school stuff on the desk.
Your story overall seems to be coming along quite nicely. Everything seems to be leading to something. Now it's just a matter of making sure the payoff is there. It's very truthful. Not quite what I was expecting from you, but nonetheless, it's still very good.
There is silence as Finn waits for more. Mr. McCormick has begun writing in his notebook.
Mr. McCormick?
Yes?
Is that it?
Yes.
There's even more silence as Mr. McCormick continues to write in his journal.
I just thought there would be more.
More what?
I don't know. When I was waiting for you to get done with the other meetings, it just, it felt longer.
Well, that's because I had more to say.
Is there something wrong with my story?
No. What makes you think that?
I'm sorry. I'm just...
Used to gain more feedback?
Well, it's just... In class, you usually are,
Harder on you?
Yeah.
Do you know why that is, Finn? Because you are a lot like me. I went through something similar as you are now.
What do you mean? What am I going through?
You entered into the writing competition last year, didn't you?
Yeah,
Put a lot of time and effort into it. You wrote something that you felt was great.
yeah.
And then when the judges read it and presented you feedback, what did they say?
They said it was all over the place. The story didn't make sense.
And how did that make you feel? It was the same for me. I spiraled into a state of depression at a young age. My dream was to become a writer, a storyteller. But after that, I gave up. I couldn't write anymore, even if the concept itself was amazing and spectacular. Everything I wrote seemed to have holes or didn't seem complete. I lost my vision into the world of fiction for me, well, I was just making stuff up.
It didn't feel like entering a new world anymore when you started writing.
Exactly. All the thoughts of needing to be good clouded my imagination, my ticket to the world of fiction.
So you gave up on writing?
For a while. Eventually I picked it up again, but by then it was too late. But you see, Finn, it isn't too late for you. You don't need me or anyone else to tell you that you are good at writing. All you need is your imagination. I know you are good. All those ideas floating in your head are there. The only reason I'm here as your teacher is to help guide your writing so others can see them too. And by the end of this class, you won't need me anymore because you'll be able to translate your worlds into words. Don't give in to what others say. Grow from it. Don't be like me. Don't give up, Finn. All I want is for you kids to go farther than I did.
You're a great teacher, Mr. McCormick. I promise you I'll keep going. I won't give up.
That's good to hear.
But then you can't give up either. You say it's too late, but that's just wrong. It's never too late to tell a good story.
All right, then. I'll keep going, too.
They stare at each other, not as teacher and student, but as writers.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. See you later.
Finn gets up to leave.
See you tomorrow. Hey, remember, we have midterms. Oh, Finn, you almost forgot your stuff.
Mr. McCormick knocks Finn's school supplies on the floor when trying to reach for it.
Ah, shoot. Sorry, Finn. I'll help you clean this up.
Mr. McCormick is holding a piece of paper.
Are these... Finn, are these the answers for the midterm?
Mr. McCormick, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have.
We? So all of you.
Yes, but we were just scared.
It's time to go, Finn.
Mr. McCormick.
Finn, it's time for you to leave. I'll see you tomorrow for the test.
Finn stands in shock. Mr. McCormick has never yelled. After a short while, Finn turns and leaves. Mr. McCormick sits back in his desk. He goes to write in his notebook, then stops before even writing a word. He sets his pen down and just sits in the space, alone.
Today is the day. This test will show me how much you've learned from the past semester and whether any adjustments need to be made by the school board to ensure you receive an adequate education. Everything I've taught you was in preparation for today. I'm sure you will do fine. You put your trust in me to teach you, and I trusted you to listen.
The students all look uneasy about the test, except for Kay. Mr. McCormick's words seem to strike Finn the hardest. Mr. McCormick hands out the tests.
You may begin.
Everyone but Finn starts frantically writing on their tests. Finn looks around the room, then he looks at Mr. McCormick, who is now reading a book. He looks down at his test. He stands up, walks to Mr. McCormick's desks. The other students stop to watch. Finn places his empty test on the desk. Mr. McCormick looks from his book as Finn gathers his things and leaves the classroom. The other students stare at Mr. McCormick. Phoebe stands up and walks to the desk. She places her test on the desk as well. She seems close to tears as she gathers her stuff and leaves. Gwen and Lance follow the same pattern soon after. Mr. McCormick by now has placed his book down in confusion. Kay eventually releases a sigh. He walks up to the desk and rips his test in half. He then places it on the desk. Just as Kay is about to leave, he stops.
After the meetings, we all met up. Finn told us what happened. He also told us what you said to him about wanting us to go farther, to not give up. I thought he was just like me, but I was wrong. Maybe it's me who should be more like him.
Finn stands alone on stage. He is just outside the classroom. As he enters, the lights come up to reveal Miss Fernsby and Mr. McCormick engaged in a serious conversation.
We have to look at this in a positive way. Yes, they failed, but I'm telling you, I think they finally get it.
Well, it's too late. The results show that they aren't learning properly from you.
Miss Fernsby, I will not.
They notice Finn only as the other students begin to enter.
The decisions are already being made with these results in mind. There's nothing you can do about it now.
Miss Fernsby walks towards the door, and the students space themselves from her as she exits. Mr. McCormick sits on his desk and places a hand on his forehead. The students take their seats.
McCormick?
Mr. McCormick looks up at his name. He then grabs the stack of tests on his desk.
I hope you all had a great winter break. I have your tests here to give back to you, although I'm sure you're already aware of the results.
The class is filled with disappointment. Mr. McCormick calls each of the students' names and gives them back their tests as they come up to get to him. Kay's test is now taped together.
The average of this class was a 0. Overall, a failure. But not your failure. This one is mine. I am your teacher, and with that comes a responsibility. It is my job to make sure you leave this class having learned something new, and in my own personal style, have fun doing so. Your display on the last day of the semester was, well, it took courage. I am proud of you, to say the least. Yes, I'm aware of what occurred behind my back, but I have decided to take some notice of what happened in front of me. It was a display of honesty in a way I was not expecting from you. Although there are still consequences to the actions taken leading up to the test. What those consequences are, I do not know myself. But those consequences aren't necessarily only due to your actions. They are also occurring due to my teaching.
What?
There have been reports that perhaps my teaching style is not helping you to learn the material. Therefore, some alternatives for this course are being discussed at the next faculty meeting.
Are you being fired?
Mr. McCormick looks at Vivi, who is glassy-eyed. He pauses for a while before answering.
No, I'm not being fired.
Are you sure?
They can't fire you. That's not fair. You're the best teacher ever.
Thank you, Gwen, but it's the board's decision.
Oh, yeah, screw the board. Who cares what they say?
Lance, I understand what you're
This
saying.
This is all my fault. If I had just kept my mouth shut about everything, none of this. No, I should have spoke up sooner to the others. I should have told them to stop. I should have been a good friend. I'm nothing like Mr. McCormick.
This is all my fault. If I had just worked harder in this class, I wouldn't have had so much anxiety about the test. But instead, I decided to take those days off. What was I thinking? Now things might be even more difficult. I don't know if I can do this.
This is all my fault. If I had just focused more on school instead of having fun, I could have aced that test. I know I could have. Mr. McCormick is a good teacher. I'm just a crappy student. I let him down, just like I let everyone down.
This is all my fault. I'm so lazy. I'm worthless. I don't even know why I tried to cheat. Everything is just a big mess right now. I can hardly think straight anymore. I hate my life.
This is all my fault. I finally had a chance to do things the right way, and in the end, I screwed it up. Maybe I really am just a bad student.
I can hardly.
I know you're upset. I may be getting fired, but that doesn't mean that you need to give up. Your dragons still stand, waiting at the end of the year for you to slay them. Your books, your stories are waiting to be finished. Based on the meetings I had with each of you, I think it is safe for me to say that I am no longer necessary in leading you on this journey. Each of you has displayed courage in taking upon tasks and ideas you are not familiar with, both in your stories and in your lives. Now it is your turn. If today is the last time we see each other as teacher and students, I am satisfied with how far I have led you. And know you can make it the rest of the way.
Mr. McCormick, you don't give up either.
Today's class will be a free write day. Use this time to work on your stories.
Mr. McCormick begins making his way to the door.
Where are you going?
I have things I need to discuss with the other faculty. Things I know we are going to disagree on.
Mr. McCormick? See you tomorrow?
Mr. McCormick takes those words in. He replies in a shaky voice.
See you tomorrow.
He leaves. The class stares at the door. Then they all begin writing. The silence is broken by Gwen.
After school, let's all meet at my place. I have snacks and games in a basement we can all hang out in.
And why would we do that?
Because we're friends, Kay. We're friends and we have dragons to slay. I don't think we can beat them alone.
Count me in.
Same.
Okay.
Maybe some other time.
He gathers his things and leaves. The lights focus on Kay as he leaves. He stands outside the doorway and gives a deep sigh. Finn, Gwen, Vivi, and Lance are all sitting in Gwen's basement.
Okay, so basically, my story is about superheroes, but like this one super specific superhero, you know, Ultra Guy.
Ultra guy?
It's okay. It's you know, the name's a work in progress. Anyway, yeah, he's a superhero, right? Well, he's aiming for the top, and he wants to be the best of the best. You know, his biggest issue is balancing out his superhero life with his normal life. It's like he has to be in two places at once, and he has to choose which one matters more.
That's really interesting.
I mean, yeah, but it's like every superhero has to deal with that, right? You know, it's not a unique story or anything.
I mean, nothing is really unique. You can give someone the plot points to several movies and they might all sound the same, but each one tells the story in a different way.
I think so too. It doesn't matter that it's been done before, because you've never done it before. You might bring something new to the story.
I guess you're right. What about you, Gwen? What's your story about?
Mine?
Yeah, I shared mine. Is it a love story?
Okay. Yes, but it's like not focused on that.
Sure.
My story is about the first love. It's about these two beings who slowly created the world we know today. One is destruction and one is creation. They love each other, but they can never quite work together because of what they are. The being of creation creates earth, and the being of destruction tries to help, but ends up creating mounds of rocks and holes in the planet. He thinks everything she makes is perfect, and everything he touches gets destroyed. Eventually, he leaves to the outside of the universe. Anyway, the being of creation goes on a journey to find him, and the story alternates between the two as she looks for him and he looks for a way to change who he is.
Whoa, I was not expecting that. Well, that's a really different story. What's out there, like, beyond all the universe and stuff?
Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, like, obviously none of us do, but I mean, for my story, I'm not sure. He finally makes it outside the universe halfway through the book, but that's all I've got so far.
Don't you have like a really detailed outline though?
Yeah, but Mr. McCormick said I should try to listen to my story more. After taking a look at the stuff in my outline, I mean, he's right. It just feels like I've asked all these questions in the beginning of the book and haven't really answered them by the ending. His advice was to let my book do the talking.
He's always got just the thing to say, doesn't he?
Yeah, honestly, my meeting with him before winter break was really
I get what you
needed.
mean. There's just so much crap going on. He just listens.
Listen.
I'm sorry about what happened. He wouldn't have found out if I didn't have the test answers in my stuff.
No, Finn, it wasn't your fault. We shouldn't have been trying to cheat in the first place.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking.
You were the only one who did what was right, even if you would have told Mr. McCormick we were wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, I still had the answers. I didn't know if I was going to cheat. It's just, what Kay said really got to me.
Do you think Kay's all right?
Who cares?
Lance!
Oh, come on. That guy is the reason any of us had an opportunity to cheat in the first place. He kept on talking about getting us held back and stuff. He was just trying to scare us.
He was probably scared.
What?
Remember what he said? He's been held back before.
Yeah, he made it like we were all doomed to fail no matter what.
He was just trying to help us.
Yeah, well, cheating wasn't going to help us. What do you think his story is about? Do you think he even has one?
Yeah, I was after him for the meetings. He took a pretty long time, and I think he and Mr. McCormick got in a fight.
Really? Do you know what it was about?
No, he just looked upset, though. Both of them did.
How did your meeting go?
Mine? It was okay. We mostly just talked about my story.
Did he give you some life advice too?
Life advice? I mean, no, not really. Like I said, we just kind of talked about my story.
What's your story about anyway?
Yeah, you like fantasy, right? Just like Finn.
Yeah, I do. My story is a little more real, though. It's about a girl who crosses a bridge every day to get to school.
Bridge?
Yeah. Her parents got a divorce when she was little, and they live on different sides of the city. Anyway, she crosses that bridge every day to get to school. It's a really nice school, but she wishes she could just live on the other side, like she used to. Mr. McCormick didn't point out something, though.
What was that?
that the bridge is really important to my main character. Even though she hates to cross it every day, it's ultimately what leads her to where she wants to go when she wants to go there. It's become a part of her life, and I guess she struggles with accepting that.
It sounds really real. Like, that's not a bad thing. It just, like, I get it. Having to accept something you don't want to about your life.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So how about prom?
What?
Why don't we all go together?
Aren't you supposed to ask like only one person to prom? Like someone you
Oh yeah, but who cares? I've always seen prom as having a fun night with friends.
Yeah, but this is senior prom.
And what makes it so special?
I mean, it's the last prom, the last dance, the last chance you really get to tell someone you...
That you like them?
I mean, yeah! Come on! It's like the gauntlet before, you know...
Before what?
Before, you know, it's all over. After high school, everyone goes their separate ways. You lose your status, sometimes your friends. You start over.
Then all the more reason we should go together. We can even get Kay to go.
Ow.
I'll ask him.
What?
What?
Oh, relax. It's not like I'm in love with him or anything. But if I ask him, is he really going to say no?
She has a point.
Why do you guys care so much about this guy?
Because he's got problems too. And he deserves to have a great last year just like us.
Lance ponders over her words.
Fine. Let's all go to prom.
Count me in.
What about you, Finn?
Wouldn't miss it.
The lights come up to show the classroom. Miss Fernsby sits in Mr. McCormick's desk. Slowly the students start to trickle in. Finn and Kay are the last to arrive. They bump into each other on the way in.
Sorry.
No problem.
Welcome, class. Please take your seat. Class will be starting soon.
Where's Mr. McCormick?
I'll discuss what's going on once class begins.
Why can't you just tell us now?
Because the bell hasn't rung yet, and as I stated before, I will explain what's going on once class begins.
There is silence as Finn and Kay take their seats. They sit in silence until the sound of a bell is heard.
Now then, welcome to class. This is the new combined English course.
What?
Quiet and I'll explain. Due to the lack of proper teaching from your previous teacher, Mr. McCormick, this class has been restructured to better fit the academic requirements you should obtain. Because of your test scores for the midterm, the faculty have decided to take matters into our own hands to not only get you caught up with the content, but also keep you on track. This class might start to feel a little overwhelming, but I assure you I am here, and if you need any help.
Where's Mr. McCormick?
Mr. McCormick will be returning, but only on Friday classes. Your teacher conducted a nice little speech about the importance of his way of teaching and bought himself into the end of the year.
Where's last class?
As of right now, yes. In the meantime, I will be taking over as the primary teacher for this course. By the end of the year, each of you will prepare a topic and speech to present to me as part of your final grade.
What about our books? Are we just supposed to throw those away?
Watch your tone. Your books will be the second half of your final project. The topics for each of your speeches should be on the overall lesson your book is trying to teach.
And if we're teaching a bad lesson?
That is why we will be sharing our stories over the course of the next week. Each day, one of you will be presenting your story in an informal way so as to get us caught up on the speed of your book. From there, we will dissect them as a class to see what we need to change so that they fit into the Western structure.
What?
Kay, you can share first. We will be looking at your book this week and...
No.
No.
Excuse me?
This is wrong.
This is how things work.
Well, I'm not sharing anything.
Then you will be taking an F for this project and ultimately this class.
That's not fair. Mr. McCormick never forced us to share our stories.
Mr. McCormick is no longer the primary teacher for this class. Detention, both of you. Perhaps you need more time to work on your assignments.
Our books aren't just assignments.
Miss Fernsby slowly walks up to Finn.
At the end of the day, your books, your stories are material to be graded for this class. It is my job to get them up to the standards for where you should be. Just because Mr. McCormick slacked off in his grading doesn't mean I will.
Finn and Miss Fernsby stare at each other.
Vivian! You will be taking Kay's place this week since he needs more time.
But
Now then, let's begin.
This is dumb.
I know.
We didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, we did. We told the teacher no.
Because she was wrong.
Shh. I know that. But it just doesn't happen.
That's because she's just like them.
Like who?
My old teachers.
At your old school?
Yes.
You know, not all teachers are like that.
I get that now. But she is, you can tell. How do you do it?
Do what?
Just everything. You're just like I was, only different.
Because I'm not you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting us all in this mess. I kept saying how we were being set up for failure, but all I did was make us fail.
Oh, that was partially my fault. I'm the one who turned my test blank. I set the example.
Yeah, but that's because that was the right thing. You helped me see that. I didn't deserve to get an A on that test.
What do you think is going to happen now?
I don't know.
Well, whatever happens, we'll handle it together. That includes you.
Kay brings out a notebook, flips it to a page, and places it in front of Finn.
What's this?
It's a summary for my book.
Finn reads from the notebook.
This is really good.
Thanks. Mr. McCormick said that too. He told me it was really well made, but I just didn't believe him. I was kind of a jerk to him.
In your meeting?
Yeah. I'm sure he hates me now. Especially since I'm the reason he's going to lose his job at the end of the year.
We're all to blame for that, Kay. It wasn't just you, and I don't think he hates you. I don't know that Mr. McCormick hates anyone. Sure, he probably is disappointed in us all, but he's just different from other teachers.
What's your book about?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's about a lot of things.
Like what?
A lot of real things. The more I think about it, the more I start to think it's more of a journal than a story.
I get what you mean. It's the same way I write. If something in my life is really bugging me, I start to write about it. It's why my story is about freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out of this school.
What about college?
College? I don't know, man. I guess I always thought I was just gonna get a job and live.
It's okay. I don't know what I'm going to do yet either.
I guess I've never really thought about what would happen after it was over. After school, I mean. I just kind of always thought I would be stuck.
Well, don't worry. We're all going to slay our dragons by the end of the year.
Sounds good to me, Finn.
Do you mind giving me some feedback on my book?
Not at all. Mind doing the same for mine?
Of course.
Is he here?
I don't see him.
You don't think he decided not to come in, do you?
No, he promised me he would be here.
Mr. McCormick walks in with a smile.
That's right, BB. I did promise. Sorry for a couple days late, though.
Mr. McCormick.
McCormick.
Hello, class. Welcome back. All right, let's take our seats and get started with today.
There's something different about Mr. McCormick.
Are we going to play an activity today?
Let's do that one where we make a story by passing it off.
Or the one where we pretend to be different things.
Or we could show you our stories. We've all been working hard on them.
I see you're all very excited for today's class, but
Miss Fernsby walks in and stands at the back of the room.
I'm afraid things are going to have to operate a little differently from what you are used to. Miss Fernsby will be joining us for my class on Fridays to evaluate my teaching skills. Now then, with that being said, things might seem a little more straightforward and by the book.
I want you to teach us, Mr. McCormick, not the book. We all want you.
There is silence, and then Miss Fernsby clicks her pen and begins writing on a clipboard.
Finn, may I please speak with you outside the classroom?
Mr. McCormick and Finn walk out of the classroom. They close the door behind them.
Finn, I admire your honesty in class, and I understand, but things are different now.
But they don't have to be. There was nothing wrong with the way you were teaching. We messed up, not you. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Mr. McCormick puts his hand on Finn's shoulder.
It's okay, Finn. I don't blame you kids for what happened. All we can do is keep moving forward. The only reason I'm even getting to teach on Fridays is because you told me to not give up. It's because of you, Finn, that I get to continue teaching until the end of the year. And I'm very grateful for that. I also wanted to apologize. I shouldn't have gone upset with you in our meeting. There was a lot going on, but I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I'm sorry, Finn.
It's okay.
You have a lot of potential, Finn. All of you kids do, and I plan to show Miss Fernsby that. Now, she thinks everything needs to be by the book. I'm trying to teach you kids that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to think freely and know what you might mess up. That's what learning is. Miss Fernsby isn't a bad teacher, Finn. She's actually a really good writer herself. She just is lost. But I ask that you leave her to me. There's a lot you can learn from her. There's a lot you can learn from her still. For now, just pursue that knowledge. Take in what you can and process it. Knowledge is powerful.
I promise.
Now then, let's get back to class.
They open the door to the classroom.
Mr. McCormick, I would like to make an announcement.
An announcement? Sure. Is this for a club or something?
Gwen stands up and walks to Kay's desk.
What the hell?
I would like to formally ask you, Kay, will you go to prom with me?
Kay doesn't know how to answer.
Come on, we're all going together and we want you to come with.
She extends her arm out for him to take.
I don't know.
Say yes.
Kay stares at Gwen.
Yes, I'll go to prom with you. All of you.
The lights are a mix of colors as we ease into prom night. The lights changing are themselves a show. Dance music plays in the background. Mr. McCormick and Miss Fernsby are standing off to the side as supervisors for the dance. Lance, Vivi, Kay, and Gwen all arrive.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really something.
Lance is pulling at his shirt and sweating.
Look nervous.
Me? Why would I be nervous? It's just a dance.
He begins dancing awkwardly, then stops as everyone stares at him.
Okay, I'm nervous.
It's okay. Dances aren't really my thing either.
You never went to them at your old school?
No, I did. That's how I found out that I didn't like dances.
Kay begins to leave.
Hey, come on.
Gwen chases after Kay.
Where's Finn?
I don't know. I'll text him.
Finn enters next to Mr. McCormick.
Well, hello, Finn.
I'm Mr. McCormick.
Is everything all right?
Yeah. No, but yeah.
Oh, big plans for tonight?
Yeah. You could say that.
Oh, like what?
Gwen enters pulling Kay along with her. There's a focus on her. She starts to dance. Everyone joins her. Finn smiles.
Mr. McCormick, you ever asked a girl out before?
Mr. McCormick follows Finn's eyes and then smiles. Gwen notices Finn and waves him over.
You nervous?
Yeah.
Good. That's how the best days of our lives start. Eventually, you just skip the being nervous part. Go live your story, Finn.
Yeah.
Finn runs over to his friends. Mr. McCormick smiles proudly at his students. They've come a long way. The students dance the night away. Lance does some weird dances and Gwen tries to teach him some simple dance moves. Lance follows. Kay notices Vivi silently dancing. She's uncomfortable but wants to join in. Kay starts dancing crazy for her. She notices and laughs. Kay smiles and the two do some strange dance moves, but it's okay. Lance notices Kay and Vivi and joins in with them to show off his new moves. Gwen turns around. Finn and Gwen's eyes meet and they slowly dance, building up until they are two dancing crazy. Mr. McCormick is dancing too, trying to get Miss Fernsby to lighten up. She's having none of it. The students come together and it's a damn dance party. This is their night. The greatest night ever. The music fades. Everyone is calming down from the huge rush. Gwen notices her phone vibrating and lets everyone know she'll be back. She goes off to the side a little. Finn watches as her expression changes from happiness to something else.
Yeah, give me a few minutes and I'll be there.
She wipes away a few tears from her eyes before hanging up and rushing away.
Lance, I'll be back.
Where are you going?
Finn chases after Gwen. They're outside the gym. We can still see the others inside as Finn calls to Gwen.
Gwen, is everything all right?
She doesn't look at him and continues to wipe tears from her eyes.
Hey, what's wrong?
My mom just called. My dad got in a car accident.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Is he okay?
Gwen takes a deep breath and then she breaks down. Finn is unsure of what to do. Gwen eventually looks at him and his arms come up. She falls into them. This is a moment of friendship. Everything else will have to wait. They sit there. The lights begin to fade in the gym. Our focus is on them.
I should probably go. My mom wanted me to meet her.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Gwen. If you need anything, give me a call.
She gives a small smile and hugs him. As she does this, Vivi enters silently. She notices them and then sneaks back into the gym.
Thank you, Finn.
She rushes off. Finn watches her leave. This changes everything. He slowly makes his way back into the gym. The music fades back in.
Hey, Finn, come on, they're playing my favorite song!
Yeah, if I have to be the only guy watching this doofus dance, I'm gonna lose it.
Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You look like you've seen a ghost. Hey, where's Gwen?
She, had to go.
Why?
Her dad got into a car accident.
Whoa, is she okay?
I don't think so, but I told her to call me if she needed anything.
Shoot. What the hell?
Yeah.
Where did Vivi go?
Yeah, where did she go? I thought she was just gonna get some punch.
Mr. McCormick rushes over to the group.
Hey, would you guys mind checking on Vivi? She seemed pretty upset about something.
Yeah, we were just wondering where she was. Where is she?
I'm not sure. Last I saw her, she was walking in from outside over there. Please make sure she's okay.
You don't think she left, did she?
We should try and find her.
Any of you have her number?
Yeah, I'll give her a call.
Sick, we'll check around here some more.
Finn rushes out of the gym again. The lights in the gym fade. The phone rings. The phone goes to voicemail.
Hey, Vivi. We were just wondering where you went. Mr. McCormick said you looked upset. If you need to talk, we're here for you. Bye.
He hangs up and looks at the phone. Then it rings just as he's about to put it in his pocket and walk back inside.
Vivi?
The lights come up on a bridge. Vivi sits on the edge.
Hey, Finn.
Hey, where did you go? We're all wondering where you went. Gwen had some really bad news, and
What happened to Gwen?
her dad got into a car accident.
Oh, Is he okay?
I'm not sure. She didn't say much. Hey, where are you at?
I'm
Vivi?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Are you okay?
She takes a deep breath and looks down off the bridge.
No,
What's going on?
I'm at the end, Finn.
What? What are you talking about? The end of what?
My story.
Vivi?
The lights begin to fade on Vivi.
Goodbye, Finn.
Vivi! 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 Vivi, don't jump!
The lights come up slowly on Vivi again. She's standing on the edge of the bridge.
Please don't jump.
How did you know?
Your story, the bridge, the main character, the thoughts, and the pills.
The pills?
Yes, the pills. The stupid little things that make the day go slightly better but feel like they're slowly making you go numb.
You take them too?
Yes.
Finn types something on his phone.
How long?
He finishes quickly and responds.
A long time. How about you?
This year, they suck.
I know. I stopped taking them this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried that tonight.
Hard. It's hard.
How do you do it?
Stop taking them?
Stop needing them.
There's a pause as Finn thinks. Vivi waits patiently.
I didn't.
You didn't?
It was you guys. Being with my friends. It helped. Lance, Gwen, you, Kay, Mr. McCormick. All of you. My story helped too.
Your story helped you?
Yeah. It has everything in there. How I felt, my fears, my hopes, my dreams, my thoughts. It's like a journal.
Journal.
Yeah.
Finn, you know in my book how the main character passes a bridge every day and she always wonders if she needs to keep crossing?
Yeah.
Yet she always crosses to go to school.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because she really likes someone and they're worth it.
Who?
You. Hello?
I'm still here. I'm just...
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I like you, Finn, but I know you like someone else. That's okay. I had a really fun night tonight. It felt like a fantasy.
Vivi?
I need to go, Finn.
Vivi.
Yes?
See you tomorrow?
Vivi looks down off the bridge and puts her foot out. Kay rushes on stage and grabs her from the edge. It brings her down. She's shocked to see him. He hugs her. She cries. She cries, and it's all we hear.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why. I'm so sorry.
Don't ever do that again.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what I would have done.
How did you find me?
Finn texted me. Listen, Vivi, I know this isn't a great time, but I need you to know something. I really like you, okay? So, don't.
He breaks down crying too. Vivi stares at him. She slowly hugs him back. They sit there, crying together. We are back in the classroom. Everyone is here except for Vivi. Miss Fernsby taps her pencil impatiently. Mr. McCormick is waiting just like the rest.
We are moving to the next person.
She'll be here.
We don't have time to wait any longer. She isn't here.
Miss Fernsby, I think we should give her a little more time. She's been out sick for a while now.
Fine. We'll have Finn go next, and then if she shows up, we'll have Vivian go last.
It's
It's
Vivi.
Vivi.
Finn, read your speech, please.
Finn walks to the front of the classroom.
You may begin.
My goal this year was to have the best senior year ever. That didn't happen. Instead, I got the senior year that I needed. Advanced creative writing was by far the most beneficial class, not only to my academics, but also to my life. There's only one assignment for this class, and that's to write a novel. Mr. McCormick calls it the dragon of this class. The dragon, even though it was only one assignment, seemed impossible. But that didn't stop Mr. McCormick from helping us. Each day of class, we would listen to what he had to say, and it helps us to craft our stories. The activities, I think most of us can agree, were what really got us through. They were an unconventional way of teaching. I know for me, I always looked forward to this class because I never knew what was going to happen next. It was an adventure, a quest, and Mr. McCormick was our guide. Even when we lost our way, he never gave up. From this class, I've learned a lot about writing, creative thought, and what it means to teach and learn. A teacher doesn't have to be the person who drills the lesson into your head. That's the student's job when they study. It's the teacher's job to present the information using the same enthusiasm that drives them to pursue learning themselves. A teacher doesn't just say the information, they show it in the most intriguing form. Mr. McCormick gets that. He understands that writing is much more than just correct spelling, proper placements of periods, commas, or apostrophes. It's not just about grammar. It's about speaking through text. Sometimes it's even about telling a story and sharing that story with your friends.
Finn looks up at his friends.
Advanced Creative Writing is a life-changing class, and I couldn't imagine my life without it. But it's only so great because of its teacher, Mr. McCormick, whom without, I would have never conquered my fears of taking my life back from depression. For me, he's more than just a teacher. He's a fellow writer and a friend. So, I stand before you today as one of his knights to tell you, by turning in this book, my dragon is slain.
Ooh, yeah!
Enough! This fantasy nonsense is over. Look what you've done. Now they think every class should be like this.
There's no harm in having a little fun. It's their last day of high school.
There is harm, Merlin. Fun leads to distractions. Learning is for those who want to take life seriously and contribute to society. The ones who don't end up like rats in the street. Can't you see that I'm trying to protect them?
From what?
The world, Merlin, the world. The world is a dangerous place for those who think it's all about having fun. If they don't learn what they need to now, then imagine what will happen to them once they go out into the world.
And what is it they need to learn, Morgan?
Everything. Everything they can. They have to stay focused and understand that hard work is what's going to get them somewhere in this world. Working hard. Hard work and dedication are king, and without them, you are nothing.
Mr. McCormick is about to speak, but stops as Vivi enters. She stands in the doorway for a while before walking to the front of the class slowly. Everyone is silent. She stands at the front, not making eye contact with anyone. She brings out the pages from her book and flips to the last page.
This is an excerpt from the final page of my book. I hope you enjoy.
There is silence as she prepares herself.
As I stood looking out over the world, I felt like I could finally see where I was going. No longer was my vision blocked by giant buildings, street signs, cars, or people. It's just me. Today, I'm going to die, I said to myself softly. As I stood there on the edge of the bridge, I took one last look at the setting sun. It was beautiful. The most beautiful sunset I had ever seen. And it was only because it would be my very last one. The darkness swept over my vision as I closed my eyes. My ears made up for the lack of vision. The world screamed its most beautiful sounds. Soft winds, crackling leaves, birds chirping. But I knew it was all a lie. I had seen the world, and it was cold and unforgiving of any chance. And any chance it got, it would throw you away like you never mattered. I brought my right foot over the edge of the bridge, and I leaned forward. It was sudden and cold as I hit the water. Instantly, I was transported backwards into a life, to all these moments that led me to this point. My unrequited love, my constant hard work with no reward, my lack of skills in being a good friend, my shitty life choices. Then suddenly, everything was warm. As I fell slowly down further into the depths of the water, I opened my eyes and looked up from where I fell. There, to my surprise, was myself standing on the bridge looking down at me. Standing with her were her friends, holding her hands. They had saved me. No, they had saved her. The new me. The me that was always trying to speak. The real me. I was just everything she wanted to get rid of. I was everything she knew wasn't her. In her shock from slipping, it was me instead who fell. The negativity, the fear, the sadness, the pills. I gave a smile. Something I hadn't done in a long time. Or maybe never done. Good luck, me. Have a great rest of your life, I said. Then I faded away with the sun as it fell beneath the sky. My story is over. But hers is just beginning.
She looks up at her friends before sobbing. Her friends rush to her and they all hug. They're all crying. Miss Fernsby places her hand on the desk for support. She quickly wipes tears from her eyes.
I've never heard something that was very well crafted, Vivi.
My students are exceptional students, Morgan. They've taken everything I've thrown at them and bravely challenged my expectations. You teach your students how to write properly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I teach my students how to slay dragons.
The final bell of the year rings. The students all squeeze each other tightly. They don't want to leave. Vivi breaks free from her friends and rushes to Mr. McCormick and hugs him tightly. The other students follow. Miss Fernsby slowly walks to the door. She takes one last look back. She takes the paper from her clipboard, throws it into the trash near the door, and then silently leaves. Senior year is officially over. Finn is at his locker packing up to leave. Everyone is standing around him.
That last page was really good, Vivi.
Thank you. I spent a long time on the ending. It was really hard.
Honestly, same. I always had this feeling it would just continue.
Well, all great things must come to an end.
Who are you, Mr. McCormick?
Everyone's still gonna get shakes after we leave?
Bet.
Hey, Vivi, if you need a ride to the diner, I can give you one.
I would love that.
How about you, Finn? Finn,
Yeah?
you going out for shakes with us?
Oh, yeah.
Gwen gives everyone else a look. Something is wrong.
All right. Well, we should probably head out if we want to get a good booth.
Yeah, we'll meet you guys there.
See
there.
ya.
Kay and Vivi exit.
Well, I'm probably gonna head out too. Hey, Finn.
Yeah.
Stand up, dude. Hold your fist out.
Finn gives a smile. They do a strange handshake. Lance leans in and whispers to Finn.
Now's your chance, dude. It's now or never.
What?
All right, I'm heading out. Last one there has to pay for my shake.
No way.
Lance exits. Finn finishes packing up and closes his locker.
So what?
What has you so down?
Down. I'm not down. I'm just.
Gwen gives him a look. She can tell when he's lying. Finn gives a sigh.
It's really over.
What, school?
Yeah.
High school doesn't last forever. Aren't you going to college?
Yeah. I'm going to be a writer, I guess.
I thought so.
Really?
Yeah, you have some really interesting ideas.
Thanks.
There's more there, isn't there?
Yeah.
What is it?
We're all taking different paths. I don't want to lose you guys. I feel like I just found you.
You aren't going to lose us, Finn. We're friends, and, well, I know for sure I'm not going to let you go. After all, I want those discounts and all those bestseller books you write.
Yeah. Say, how's your dad doing?
Oh, he's doing much better, but that was scary.
I bet. I'm glad he's doing better.
Thanks. Well, we should probably get going.
Yeah, I just got to finish a couple things up before I go, but I'll meet you guys there.
Are you going to say goodbye to Mr. McCormick again?
Yeah.
Well, don't take too long. We'll be waiting for you. And don't forget, you got to pay for Lance's shake since you're going to get there last.
She starts to leave.
Gwen.
She turns. There's a pause. Finn looks as if he's going to ask her something, but doesn't. He smiles.
See you later.
Gwen smiles back.
See you later, Finn.
She exits. Mr. McCormick walks in from the other side.
And then there was one.
Mr. McCormick.
Well, hello, Finn. I thought you had seen the last of me.
No, in fact, I was just about to go see you.
Well, it's a good thing. You forgot your journal in the classroom.
He hands
Thanks.
Finn his black journal.
Thanks.
So, what did you want to see me about?
I just wanted to say thank you. This was the best year ever, and I know without you, it wouldn't have been the same.
I have to say, I had a great batch of students this year.
Are they going to let you continue teaching?
Yeah, who knows? Whatever happens, it's just cold life.
Well, what will you do if they fire you?
I'll probably look at publishing a few manuscripts I have lying around.
Knowing you, I'm sure they're amazing.
Well, I think it'll be some time before anything gets published, but it doesn't hurt to try. I hear you're going to college for writing?
Yeah, I guess, but
But what?
I don't know. What if I don't make it?
Where are you trying to go, Finn?
What do you mean?
Why do you write stories, Finn?
I don't know. It's fun.
And when you write, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Then don't be afraid of making it. You're already there. Humans are built to create. It's impossible not to. Your stories and your life go hand in hand. You have to live a story to tell a story.
Life is inspiration.
Exactly. No, now you're starting to sound like me.
So, your first name is Merlin?
How do you know about that?
Miss Fernsby said it today when she got upset at you.
Yes. My parents named me Merlin. Merlin McCormick.
It suits you.
Yes, I suppose. Merlin, the great wizard Arthurian legend. Which is why your middle name interested me so much at the beginning of the year.
My middle name?
Yes, Arthur. Like King Arthur? Quite the coincidence, don't you think?
I guess I never thought about it.
King Arthur was a great leader, a king chosen by the great sword of stone. You yourself, Finn, showed signs of a great leader as well this year.
Really?
Yes. Your friends began traveling down a dark path when you saved them. You led by example. You valued friendship. You listened. You slayed a dragon. I truly will miss our class. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, you should probably head off. Adventure awaits you and your friends in the great world ahead of you.
See you later, Mr. McCormick.
Goodbye, Finn.
Finn begins to exit. Mr. McCormick begins to exit in the opposite direction.
Oh, Finn! So, where will you go from here?
Finn stops to think about what Mr. McCormick is saying. He then smiles.
I don't know.
Finn exits. Mr. McCormick smiles as his student enters the world. He then turns to face the audience.
Good luck.